Time now for Conversation Nation. Joining me tonight, Roll Call Shira Center, political analyst Jason Johnson, and Mike.com's Liz Plank. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Good to be here, Rev.
Thank you.
We start tonight with the mess created by Citizens United. This chart shows how outside spending in presidential elections exploded after the 2010 Supreme Court ruling. And now there's so much money sloshing around that Jeb Bush is actually telling donors to stop giving him so much cash. The Washington Post reports Bush is telling donors they should not give more than $1 million to his PAC this quarter. He apparently doesn't want people to think he's beholden to his wealthy supporters. Jason, have you ever heard of a politician asking donors not to give him too much?
Not often, but then again, we've never seen an election like this where you have a former president, actually two former presidents, brother and son, running against the wife of a former president. This is, we can't pretend anymore that we have any semblance of democracy. This is all going to be a bought and paid for election, so I'm not surprised what George Bush is doing. And he's certainly not going to convince anyone that he's not beholden to the rich and powerful forces of his brother and previous administrations. So this is all just window dressing right now for something that's going to be bought by probably 6 or 7 major investors and major companies in the United States.
Liz?
At first glance, I really appreciate the sentiment, but I have to agree with Jason on this. I mean, this to me only speaks to the privilege that he actually has as a candidate and how far ahead in the race he is, that he's so comfortable that he can say, no, 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 you're over $1 million, I'm not going to take it. And I think it helps him, you know, in the long run. Citizens United is not a popular decision.
But it helps him with who, Liz?
I think it helps him with Americans. A lot of Americans are actually not comfortable with the idea of millionaires or billionaires deciding who's going to be winning these elections. So I think this is a good move for him because he, A, doesn't need the money. He has so much of it. And B, I think a lot of Americans will see that as a good decision on his part.
Shira, do you think it helps him or hurts him? I mean, at one level, Liz is saying that they'll see him favorably. At another level, it could remind people how many millionaires and billionaires are supporting him.
Yeah, well, first of all, it must be nice, right, to be a political candidate and have to turn down millions and millions of dollars, right? I do think it is a smart move for him politically, but not for the reasons that we've discussed already. It's smart because this guy is looking to win a Republican primary right now, and he's already been labeled the establishment candidate. If he comes out of the gates roaring with millions and millions more dollars than everyone else in the field, he's just going to be tacked with that label for the next year, and he won't be able to get rid of it.
Now, I see you shaking, nodding your head, Jason. So Shira raises a good point. If he's trying to get his average Republican kind of blue-collar working class guy, this is something that plays to him. That's another element to this.
Oh, yeah. This is Jeb's chance to get some street cred with the Republican Party and talk about, hey, I'm not completely beholden to millionaires. I only know 12 or 13 of them, like Mitt Romney. But the reality is, don't we remember it was just 6 years ago that we had a guy run for president of the United States, and President Obama bragged about the fact that his average donation was only $40. That's what actually resonates with voters, that you have a large number of people giving small amounts of money. If I were Jeb Bush, I wouldn't have said this at all. It will not play well. It's the kind of thing he's going to be hammered with next spring when he's trying to run for president, and all the other candidates are saying this guy is bought, sold, and delivered by the special interests that you don't trust.
I'm sure if it was up to Jeb's campaign, they would not want to make it known that they were limiting their donations, but it was going to get out anyway as soon as they started doing it with their donors.
It was forced out, I believe, from the context that I read it. Let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the elephants are going away. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus is ending a 100-year tradition, phasing elephants out of their shows. The move comes after years of complaints from animal rights groups who say elephants are abused and mistreated. Peter uncovered this video of the elephants being mistreated in 2009. The circus denied charges of abuse then, but now, will they retire their 43 elephants to the company's Center for Elephant conservation in Florida by 2018. Other animals will stay in the acts. Liz, good decision, or will you miss the elephants?
I will not miss the elephants. I'm happy. I mean, I think the ones that were part of the circus will just retire as in the center that they already live in. But I'm glad to see the circus industry taking this step. I mean, it's come a long way. We used to have bearded women and people of smaller sizes there as literally, you know, as part of a freak show. So I think we're taking a step in the right direction. And I'm glad that it's audiences. You know, the market is moving the circus industry into this direction.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign.
Jason?
Rev, I gotta say, I'm sad. I'm sad. Full disclosure, my aunt used to work for Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. I used to go to the circus as a kid in St. Louis. I rode on the backs of elephants. I have very fond memories of these things.
He doesn't gonna come after you.
I know, but as an adult,
you
I
can still
know
ride
that they're
on the
not
back of elephants. They just don't have to be marched around in little cages.
Shira,
The
let
clowns
me go
pulled
to
me
you.
out. It was a very, very fun thing. But yes, you know, as an adult, I recognize that, you know, there's other ways we can get entertainment now. It's not necessarily fair to the animals, but I'll miss it in a way. It was a big part of my childhood.
Shira, let me go to you before let Jason get his composure.
Well, look, you know, this is not an American pastime that I am going to miss at all. Let's go watch a baseball game instead. It's not, you know, it's cruel what they've done to animals in a lot of these cases, and I think it is absolutely wonderful that consumers have made the choice to stop supporting it. I think that's one of the best parts about our country, that consumers can make that choice, and it made a difference.
It's going to be very interesting to see the market, as Liz say, has the market changed and Americans have changed. Everyone stay with me when we come back. Paris Hilton's brother might be getting off from an alleged air rage incident. We'll talk about it next.